Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. Can you identify what that sound is? That's the sound of a clock ticking, but nowadays we associate that sound with time. Have you guys heard of Rolex? I think many of you have heard it. It's a luxury watchmaker company originating from Switzerland. They specialize in quality wristwatches that can be sold for quite a sum of money. In fact, it is so popular that one of their products, the waiting time for a watch named Daytona, is 5 to 8 years. However, Rolex is not the only company selling these luxury watches. Companies such as Omega also sell luxury watches, and some of their products are also very famous. They both fulfill the same want and need. Let's talk about this further. So why do people buy watches? Watches can display the affluence of a person, and it can also be used for what it was originally designed for, telling the time. Many products can also tell the time or show affluence. In the following few minutes, I will be talking about who competes with Rolex and why they are competitors. The following few products all complete the same need of telling the time. The most common option used for telling the time is having a digital clock. A digital clock is useful when you are not going anywhere and you have time at home. There are several companies that sell digital clocks.
Seiko,
An instrument company is a company that does this. Aside from digital clocks,
Seiko,
an instrument company also sells analog clocks. These are not as popular anymore because they are bulky, and most of the generation have moved to the technological age. The other problem with analog clocks is that some of the population has never learned how to see the time with analog clocks. Another option for telling the time that can tie for first place when competing with Rolex are normal wristwatch companies. Wristwatches are common because they are not as expensive as Rolexes and other luxury watches, but still achieve the same purpose, telling the time. Wristwatches are so wanted because they can fit almost all age groups and come in different kinds of colors. You can often see children wearing these. Wristwatches can be both analog and digital, which makes them a very suitable choice if you are almost never at home or like to go out. An example of a wristwatch selling company would be Swatch. Swatch is a major competitor when it comes to telling
The pocket watch is a very old way of telling the time. If you have ever watched spy movies, you can almost always see the villain with a monocle and with a pocket watch. They were developed in the 16th century, and some are still in use today. However, pocket watches aren't favored more than the other kinds of watches and clocks because they are bulky, expensive, and hard to find people to repair. Pocket watches are always analog, so this deters the younger generation from buying them. Pocket watches are very expensive because very few companies still produce them. However, Audemars Piguet still makes and produces them, in a more fashionable and modern way. Grandfather clocks came out around the time of the pocket watch. These are the fathers of analog clocks, and they are scarcely made. They are mainly produced for the antique collectors or the house hunters that want a more traditional home.
competition can come in many ways. They can be the same product that satisfies the same need or want, such as Omega and Rolex, or they can be indirect competition, which is a different product that satisfies the same need or want. So you see, there are many different ways of telling the time, but there are many products you can buy to achieve the need of telling the time. Rolex is only one of these many options. I hope you have enjoyed, and remember, keep on ticking.